Hello student, today I am going to do class 7 subject history chapter 5 administration society and culture under the Delhi Sultanate. This is the last chapter of your half yearly. So let's start student. The establishment of Delhi Sultanate marked the beginning of its long dominance over northern India, which created an entity that was distinct in the Islamic world. Advent of the Muslim in India was the beginning of a new way of life. The Muslim also brought with them certain new traditions. This influenced the existing lifestyle, philosophy, culture, and civilization of Indian people. The intermingling of two cultures gave rise to new composite culture called Indo-Islamic culture. Society and the people. The society during the Sultanate period was divided into four main classes. The first, or the aristocratic class, was the most influential class in the society. This class consists of nobility and high officials. They were very rich and lived in luxurious life. Second most important group was Almas and the Indus priest, who advised the Sultanate on how to carry his administration in accordance with the Zakat law. This class of people lived on land grant given by the Sultanate and the gift offered by the common people. Third category of people, or the town dwellers, consist of official, merchant, and artisan who were economically well-to-do. The common people, or the peasantry, who formed the bulk of population, were poor and they did not have enough to satisfy their needs. They not only paid heavy taxes, land revenue, etc., but also had to bear the suffering of natural calamities. The period witnessed that rigid system of caste among Hindus. The position of women deteriorated. They were denied education, had to remain in parda. The practice of child marriage and sati were prevalent. The number of travelers mentioned that prevalence of sati in different regions of the society. The Moroccan traveler Ibn Butta mentioned that horrible scene of the woman burning herself on the funeral grave of her husband with a great beating of drums. During the period, the practice of keeping women in celebration and asking them to reveal their faces in the presence of the outsiders became widespread among the upper class women. This is a traveler of Ibn Butta. The next is administration. The Turkish state in India was militaristic and aristocratic in a formal sense. The state was Islamic and the Sultanate did not allow any open violation of the Islamic law, but they also did not allow the Muslim divine to dedicate the policy of the state. The sultanates had to supplement the Muslim law by framing their own regulation. That is why the historian Barani refused to consider the state in India as a truly Islamic, but one based on worldly and secular consideration. The Sultan's office was the most important in the Sultanate, and all political, legal, and political authority vested in him. He was solely responsible for the administration, security of the state, and maintenance of law and justice. Power of Sultan was based on military force. The administration were federal and military in character. The government was run under various departments. Each department was supervised by a minister or a high official. The most important department was first Diwan-e-Wazir, or the revenue department, headed by the chief minister called Wazir. Second, Diwan-e-Arz, or the military department, headed by Wazir-e-Mamalik. It was the responsibility of the department to recruit, equip, and pay the army. Third, Diwan-e-Risalt, dealing with religious matter, pious foundation and stipend to the scholars. It was presided over by the Chief Sardar, who was the Chief Qazi. The Chief Qazi was the head of the Department of Justice. Next is Diwan-e Insan, dealt with all kind of domestic as well as foreign correspondence. The village administration was managed by the Mukadam. Sometimes Hindu officers were also appointed to supervise village administration. The Munsif supervised the account of the village while Patwari kept the local record. Besides the land revenue, the main taxes were the jizya and the karja and the zakat and the khams. The rate of taxes varied from sultan to sultan. The next is ICAR system, the system of granting revenue from a piece of land or a village to an officer instead of paying him a cash salary was called the ICAR system. Under this system, the officer Ikadar would collect the revenue from his territory ICAR. He would keep the certain amount of his salary from this revenue, and another part of revenue was spent for the maintaining of the soldier for the sultan. They also had to pay a fixed amount of annually to the sultan. The officer had to keep a detailed account of his income and expenditure. He was also responsible for the maintenance of law and order in his territory. Economic. Next is economic. Inland and overseas trade both flourished under the Sultanate. Delhi, Daulatabad, Lahore and Lucknow were great trading centers. India developed trade relationship with Europe, Malaya, China, Central Asia, Afghanistan, Persia, Tibet, Bhutan. Trade was encouraged by the ruler of India. The roads and the coin played an important role in flourishing of trade. Tanka, which was a silver coin started by Iltutmish, was used widely in market. Agriculture was the main occupation of the people of India during the reign of the. Next is almost every town had a marketplace where goods were bought and sold. This is Alauddin Khilji silver coin picture. This is Muhammad bin Tughlaq coins picture. Agriculture was the main occupation of the people of India. During the reign of Alauddin Khilji and Muhammad bin Tughlaq, the land taxes was raised to 50% of the produce from the land. The chief industries were textiles, sugar, hardware and paper manufacturing. Small factories also developed during this period. Students, as I have completed with this half chapter in next class we will continue with the chapter. So thank you, student.